This is another variety of deciduous shrubs, Stu. It's a spirea called Spirea renaissance. It's one of the larger growing spireas. We'll be looking at some smaller, shorter spireas that are very common in the landscape a little later.
Beautiful fall color in it.
Isn't that gorgeous? You can see even where the old blossoms were from last late spring when it bloomed. And this is a new growth that has grown from the rest of the season. And actually, this is laden with buds that'll come out on small brackets and bloom in late spring. So what would happen if I trimmed this right now?
Boy, in its dormant state, that means you wouldn't be able to enjoy the nice flowers that it's going to produce in the spring.
Right, you'll cut all the blossoms off. So you want to make sure you know what kind of plant you're dealing with. In this case, a larger spirea blooms on wood that was produced this year for next year's blossoms.
Now, if I wanted to contain this plant and keep it small, would it be okay to wait until it blooms and then prune it back more dramatically and that'll keep it down?
If you want to shape the plant, in fact, it's a good thing to do to keep it in tow. Wait as soon as it's finished blooming and then go in and chop it back down to a good, at least a foot lower than what you want it to be for the rest of the season. Then the rest of the season it's going to grow, produce that foliage, the buds will be set, and you'll have a nicer blossom the following year.
Now, you mentioned this is a specific type of spirea. There are many different types of spirea out there. Do they all share the same characteristic of blooming on old wood?
It's a good question, Stu. No, they don't. In fact, the most common varieties of spireas are the smaller ones. People love them because they only get about 3 feet high. And they bloom on wood that grows every spring up to a certain point, set a blossom, bloom, and then you trim that off in June, and then you'll get another blossom later on. But again, they grow on wood that's growing that season. Let's go look at one of those, and I'll show you how to trim that.